I was at a networking event and somebody came up to me, as they do sometimes, and they asked me this question, obviously a coach asking questions, but anyway, and they said, what's your best closing technique? So what do you mean closing technique? Well, how do you close the deal? How do you close clients? How do you get new customers to come on board? And then he said, what's your best way of overcoming objections? I said, well, the best way I've found of overcoming objections or closing the deal is not to close and not to overcome objections, is not to attract the objections in the first place. And he didn't like that. He said, well, I've been reading, I've been watching videos, and I know how to overcome the objections and all this. He'd been all this sort of training and guidance and in all the smart questions of how to overcome the objections. But in my experience, and look, I've read Zig Ziglar, I've read all the books. I know how to close and how to overcome objections and all this. I know all the techniques, the NLP, matching and mirroring, and matching the breathing and the pulse rate and the eye movement and all that stuff. Fundamentally, what I found is people will buy when they see value. So a typical sales conversation, for me at least, and I think for a lot of other people as well, is we have a conversation, we talk about the opportunities and how we can help and support. And at some point, if the other person sees value in what we're saying, they'll say something like, well, that sounds great. Can you fit me in? When can we get started? How does it work? What happens next? And that is as simple as it goes. If you find yourself having to close the deal and then overcome the objections, so I want to think about it. Well, what is it you want to think about? And blah, blah, blah. And have all these elegant structures around overcoming the objections. You've done it wrong. It's too late. You're not selling, you're coercing, in my experience. So focus on the value. I'm with my mentor, Jeff Gittimer, on this one. Show massive value, be professional, have a fabulous product. But when the value is seen, the prospect or the person will just say, yeah, sounds great. When can we get started, get underway? So don't worry too much about closing or overcoming objections and all this sort of thing. They're all good fun for TikTok. But actually, in reality, most good professional sales or meetings or prospects, whatever you want to call it, should really start with huge value being displayed and the prospect simply saying, yeah, that makes sense. What do we do next? How does it work? Now, you've got to talk about price. You've got to talk about money. Absolutely. But if the value is there, price is secondary. If the value isn't there, price is primary. And then you're going to get pushed down on it all the time. So don't worry about overcoming the objections, closing the deal. Focus on value, focus on relationship, focus on the results you're going to get for your customers and your clients, and they will effectively close themselves. So there we go. Tip for the day in terms of sales. It's easy and straightforward. Don't get caught up by the hype, guys. You don't need to be, Zig Ziglar Mark II. Fabulous as he was. Fabulous as he was. Have a great week. More to come. See you soon. Bye for now.